You know what's interesting? Most people spend more time thinking about what others are doing, what others might think, and how they'll be judged than they do focusing on themselves. And here's the truth. When your attention is scattered outward, you lose the power to create real change within. The secret isn't to announce your moves. The secret is to make them. Focus on yourself. Build in silence. Grow in silence. Because power isn't in the noise, it's in the results. You don't need validation. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. Every minute you spend explaining is a minute you could have spent executing. You want respect, don't demand it, don't beg for it, earn it quietly. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strength. It's control. It's saying, I don't need to broadcast my grind because my results will speak louder than my words ever could. Remember this, the loudest person in the room is often the most insecure. The silent builder, that's the one you should pay attention to. So today, choose discipline over distraction, choose focus over gossip, choose progress over approval. Work so hard on yourself that when you finally step into the light, people won't recognize you. Not because you shouted, but because you transformed. Don't just make noise, make history so. Focus on yourself, stay silent in your journey, and let your success make the loudest sound in the room. Most people spend their lives chasing the opinions, judgments, and validation of others, and they don't even realize it. Every decision they make, every step they take, is quietly filtered through the question, what will people think of me? But when you live like that, you're living someone else's life. You're trapped in a prison built out of other people's expectations. If you want to truly break free and step into the life you're capable of living, you have to shift your focus away from seeking approval and toward creating growth. Growth is the only thing that will set you apart, the only thing that will bring you real fulfillment, and the only thing that will make you unstoppable. Think about it. Approval is temporary. You can get 100 compliments today and 1 criticism tomorrow, and what's the one thing you'll remember? The criticism. That's how the human brain works. Chasing approval is like chasing the wind. You never catch it, and even when you think you do, it slips right through your fingers. But growth is permanent. When you invest in yourself, when you improve your mind, your body, your skills, your character, no one can take that away from you. That's yours forever. When you focus on growth, you stop comparing yourself to others, because comparison is the thief of joy. You realize that your journey is unique, that your progress is your responsibility, and that the only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. That's the game, and the moment you understand this, you take back your power. You stop caring about the noise around you. You stop letting the opinions of others control your destiny. Focusing on growth also means embracing discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the places where you're stretched, challenged, and sometimes even broken down so you can rebuild stronger. The problem with seeking approval is that it makes you avoid risk. You don't want to fail because failure doesn't look good to other people. You don't want to stumble because people might laugh. But if you avoid failure, you avoid growth. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback is a stepping stone. The ones who grow the fastest are the ones who are willing to look foolish for a moment, so they can be powerful for a lifetime. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be people who don't understand your vision. That's okay. They don't have to. Their approval isn't necessary for your growth. Too many people spend years waiting for the world to cheer them on before they start moving. Stop waiting. If you know what you want, if you know the life you're building, if you feel that fire inside you, then move. Regardless of whether anyone else claps, growth is fueled by action, not applause. And here's the truth. The people who are truly successful, the ones who inspire others, are rarely the ones chasing attention. They're the ones obsessed with becoming more, learning more, doing more. They focus on growth every single day, and eventually their results demand attention. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing approval and commit fully to growth, approval often comes anyway. But by then, you don't even care because you've outgrown the need for it. Focusing on growth doesn't mean ignoring people. It doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means prioritizing. It means recognizing that you can't give your best to anyone else until you've given your best to yourself. You can't lift others if you're standing on shaky ground. So you invest in your mindset, in your health, in your discipline. You take the time to learn, to train, to strengthen yourself from the inside out. Because the stronger you grow, the more impact you can have on the world around you. When you wake up every day, ask yourself, how can I grow today? Not, how can I impress someone? Not, how can I get people to like me? But how can I become stronger, wiser, more resilient? That's the question that changes everything. Because when you focus on growth, you stop being a slave to approval, and you start being a creator of your own destiny. When you start building in silence, you take back a level of control most people never experience. The world today is obsessed with broadcasting every move, every step, every little achievement. People announce their plans before they've even taken the first action, hoping the attention will keep them motivated. But in reality, that constant noise drains energy, creates pressure, and distracts from the work that actually matters. Real progress doesn't come from posting. It comes from doing. The greatest power you can harness is the ability to move quietly, to execute without seeking validation, and to let your results do the talking. Silence is a shield. It protects you from unnecessary criticism, doubt, and negativity that can derail your momentum. The moment you share your dreams with the wrong people, you open the door to their opinions, and not all of them will be encouraging. Some will tell you it's impossible. Some will project their fears onto you. Some will secretly hope you fail because your courage reminds them of their own inaction. When you build in silence, you remove that noise from your environment. You create a sacred space where your vision can grow without being trampled by the weight of other people's insecurities. Think about the seed planted underground. Nobody sees it. Nobody claps for it. Nobody even knows it's there, but it's working. It's pushing roots deep into the soil, drawing strength, preparing to break through. By the time it emerges, it's already strong enough to withstand the elements. That's what it means to build in silence. You put in the work when no one's watching. You develop the skills, the mindset, the resilience. So when you finally show the world, you're not fragile. You're unshakable. Results speak a language no words can match. You don't need to convince people when you have proof. You don't need to explain when you've already accomplished. Too often, people waste time defending their vision instead of building it. They get caught up in arguments, in debates, in trying to prove themselves to those who are never going to believe in them anyway. That's a trap. The only thing that will silence doubt is undeniable evidence, and evidence comes from results. So instead of talking, invest that energy into execution. There's also a deep psychological power in keeping your plans private. When you broadcast your goals too early, your brain rewards you with a sense of accomplishment just for saying them. It tricks you into feeling like you've already done something when in reality, nothing has been built. That's why so many people announce their dreams loudly but never follow through. They already got the dopamine rush from the applause, so the hunger to actually achieve dies out. Silence keeps you hungry. It keeps you focused on the grind instead of the glory. Building in silence doesn't mean you isolate yourself from all support. It means you choose wisely. You share your vision only with the people who have earned the right to hear it. The ones who genuinely want to see you win, who will challenge you to grow, and who will hold you accountable. Everyone else. They can see the results when the time is right. Until then, you keep your head down, your heart in the work, and your energy locked on execution. When you let results speak, you move differently. You stop trying to impress. You stop performing for an audience. You stop chasing validation, and you start chasing mastery. That shift changes everything. because while others are busy posting about what they're going to do, you're already doing it. And when the results show, there's no debate, no argument, no need for explanation. Success is undeniable. There's a reason the most powerful transformations often shock people. It's because the work was done in silence. Months, maybe years of effort hidden from the world, while everyone else thought nothing was happening. Then suddenly the breakthrough, and to outsiders it looks like it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it was built day by day, choice by choice, in the quiet moments when nobody was watching. Every day you're faced with a choice, discipline or distraction. One leads you closer to the life you want, the other keeps you stuck exactly where you are. Discipline doesn't always feel good in the moment, but it builds strength, momentum, and progress. Distraction feels easy, it feels comfortable, but it robs you of your time, your focus, and your future. The difference between those who create extraordinary lives and those who settle for mediocrity is not talent. It's not luck. It's the ability to choose discipline over distraction again and again. Distraction is everywhere. It's in your phone, your social media feeds, the endless scroll that eats away at hours without you even noticing. It's in the conversations filled with gossip and negativity, pulling you into stories that don't move your life forward. It's in the habits that give you a quick hit of comfort but leave you further from your goals. Distraction is designed to be seductive. It's designed to feel urgent, but urgent doesn't mean important, and most of what distracts you carries no weight in the long run. The more time you give to distractions, the less time you have to build the life you want. Discipline, on the other hand, demands sacrifice. It demands that you choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. It means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It means doing the work when you don't feel like it, showing up when you'd rather stay in bed, sticking to the plan when excuses are calling your name. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about freedom. The more disciplined you become, the more control you have over your life. Instead of being pulled in every direction by distractions, you become the one steering the ship. People often wait for motivation to strike, thinking they need to feel ready before they act. But motivation is fleeting. Discipline doesn't rely on feelings. It's about doing what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. The truth is, feelings follow action. When you push through resistance and take disciplined action, the motivation shows up after, not before. That's why discipline is so powerful. It doesn't leave your progress up to chance. Think about the goals you've set for yourself. Maybe it's building a stronger body, creating financial freedom, developing a new skill, or building a business. Every one of those goals requires consistent effort over time. And consistency comes from discipline. You can't build muscle if you only go to the gym when you feel like it. You can't grow your income if you only work on your craft when it's convenient. You can't master a skill if you quit every time it gets hard. Discipline is the bridge between the vision in your head and the reality you want to create. There will always be a voice inside telling you to take the easy way out. That voice will whisper that you've done enough for today, that you deserve to relax, that tomorrow is a better time to start. And on the surface, it sounds reasonable, but every time you listen to that voice, you give away a piece of your future. Discipline means recognizing that voice for what it is, resistance, and instead of negotiating with it, you move forward anyway. The more often you do that, the quieter the voice becomes. Discipline also builds trust in yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief that you can handle whatever you set out to do. Every time you let distractions win, you weaken that trust. Success in life is built on self-trust. If you can't rely on yourself to follow through, no one else will either. Discipline is how you prove to yourself over and over that you can be counted on. And that belief in yourself becomes the fuel that pushes you further than you thought possible. The world doesn't reward good intentions, it rewards execution. Distractions don't create results, discipline does. And once you get a taste of what it feels like to stay committed, to push through, to achieve something because you didn't let yourself off the hook, you'll never want to go back. The pride, the confidence, the growth that comes from choosing discipline is worth more than any momentary pleasure a distraction can give you. Respect is something people chase their entire lives, but the truth is, the more you chase it, the further away it gets. Respect isn't given to the one who talks the loudest, demands the most attention, or tries to prove themselves to everyone around them. Real respect is earned quietly, through action, through consistency, through becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to say a word for others to feel their presence. The louder someone has to scream for recognition, the more it usually shows they don't truly have it. Quiet strength, quiet discipline, and quiet results will always speak louder than noise. When you move in silence, people notice, even if you don't think they do. They see the transformation, they see the progress, they see the way you carry yourself differently. You don't have to announce every milestone or explain every step. The results are undeniable, and the results are what command respect. You can't talk your way into being respected. You can only live in a way that earns it. Respect is tied directly to integrity. If you tell the world one thing but live another, people see through it, no matter how good your words sound. But when your actions match your values, when you consistently show up as the person you claim to be, people trust you. And with trust comes respect. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment. You don't need to convince anyone that you're disciplined if they can already see it in the way you live. You don't need to tell people you're committed if your habits prove it every day. Earning respect quietly also means not wasting energy on proving yourself to people who don't matter. Too many people exhaust themselves trying to get recognition from those who will never appreciate them, while neglecting the work that would actually build respect where it matters. The truth is, not everyone will support you. Not everyone will clap for you, and that's fine, because respect doesn't come from trying to please everyone. It comes from becoming undeniable. One of the most powerful things you can do is to keep moving forward when no one's watching, because eventually they will notice. At first, people may not take you seriously. They might doubt you, laugh at you, or ignore you. But when you continue showing up, when you refuse to quit, when you keep improving silently, the same people who doubted will be forced to respect you. It's not because you demanded it. It's because you became someone they couldn't ignore. There's also a humility in earning respect quietly. You're not in it for the applause. You're not driven by the need to be validated. You're driven by growth, by standards, by a vision bigger than outside approval. That humility makes you stand out in a world full of people shouting for attention. People may not say it out loud, but they feel it. That quiet confidence, that steady energy that doesn't need to be loud because it's real. Respect doesn't just come from big achievements. It comes from the small, consistent choices no one sees. Waking up early when you'd rather sleep, training when you're tired, studying when it would be easier to quit, following through on commitments even when they're inconvenient. These choices build character, and character builds respect. Over time, the compound effect of those choices creates a reputation that no one can deny. When you look at the people you respect most, it's rarely because of what they say, it's because of what they do. Their lives are a reflection of the principles they stand for. They don't have to shout, because their example shouts for them. That's the standard to aim for, becoming someone whose actions carry weight, whose consistency commands attention without ever needing to ask for it. Transformation is louder than words because it cannot be faked. You can talk about what you're going to do. You can explain your vision. You can even defend your intentions. But nothing silences doubt, and nothing captures attention like visible, undeniable change. When you transform yourself, people see it. They feel it, and it speaks with a power that words alone could never carry. The world listens differently when they witness growth that is real, consistent, and undeniable. Words are easy. Anyone can say they want to change, that they want to grow, that they want to become more. But most people stop there. They speak, but they don't follow through. They announce, but they don't execute. That's why transformation is rare. It requires more than talk. It requires proof. It requires discipline, sacrifice, and persistence long after the excitement fades. When you commit to true transformation, you separate yourself from the crowd of people who only talk about their dreams but never live them. Transformation is not just physical. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It's the shift from who you were to who you're becoming. People will notice when your mindset sharpens, when your focus deepens, when your energy changes. They'll notice when you no longer entertain the same distractions, when you set boundaries, when you carry yourself with a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. You won't even have to explain it, because it will radiate from the way you move, the way you speak, and the way you handle challenges. The beauty of transformation is that it tells a story without you ever having to tell it yourself. The results of your growth speak on your behalf. If you've been working in silence, people will eventually look at you and realize something has shifted. The person you were is no longer the person you are. And even if they don't say it out loud, they will respect it. They may even be inspired by it. True transformation carries an authority that cannot be denied, even by those who once doubted you. Transformation also requires patience. It's not instant. The world is obsessed with quick results, but real change is built day by day, choice by choice, sacrifice by sacrifice. You may not see the progress immediately, and others may not either. But over time, the small, consistent actions you take compound into something undeniable. At first, no one notices when you wake up early, when you study late, when you train alone, when you make disciplined choices. But then, one day, the results reveal themselves, and suddenly everyone sees what you've been building. To them, it looks sudden, but you'll know it was the product of relentless persistence. Transformation often comes with resistance, too. People around you may not understand. They may try to pull you back into old habits because your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. Some may doubt you, others may criticize, and some may even resent the changes you're making. That's why transformation takes strength. Not just to change, but to keep moving forward despite the noise. You can't let the opinions of others slow down your evolution, because at the end of the day, you're not transforming for them. You're doing it for you, for your vision, for the life you know you're capable of living. When your transformation finally shows, it's not just about what people see, it's about what you feel. You'll carry a different energy because you'll know you earned it. You'll know the work you put in, the sacrifices you made, the temptations you resisted, the days you pushed through when you didn't want to. That internal shift is just as powerful as the external one, and it becomes impossible for others not to notice. They may not know the details, but they'll feel the strength in your presence. Transformation is proof. Proof that you can rise above who you were. Proof that you can create change no matter where you started. Proof that discipline, focus, and resilience can rewrite the story of your life. You don't need to explain yourself when you've transformed, because the results will always speak louder than any explanation ever could.